Hi again, it's Fyodor here, your guide into the world of conscious dreaming. I want to tell you first why and who is this for? Who is this course for? It's not just people who are into the lucid dreaming and the esoteric stuff. It's actually for everybody who would like to achieve goals and make use of this ancient dreaming technique and utilize the power of dreaming. You know, we sleep approximately 30 years of our life, so that's a big part of our lives that, in my opinion, it's really important to get to know that part of life and make use of it in order to live an interesting and a fulfilling life during the waking hours. This technique or method is actually for those who want to achieve things in life, who are goal-oriented, like entrepreneurs, high achievers, or actually anybody who just wants to move forward in life and is open to making use of this non-ordinary method in goal achieving. I want to tell you a little story how I came by this method. I had a near-death experience where I left my body, and I described it in my book Vozduch, when I was actually called Let's Get Some Air in English, where I thoroughly describe what happened. But basically I was very ill. I was diagnosed with AS. It's a rheumatoid arthritis, a very rare one, which is incurable. And so I've been ill, and I was losing a startup. I was a tech startupper, millions of euros involved, and I was losing the whole thing, and my best friend, and my marriage and everything. And then this thing happened. And after I had that experience, my whole life changed. And I know many other people who've been going through similar experiences, whose life also changed, and it never became the same again after that experience. You get to see things which show you that there is much more than the reality that we usually know of. So that's how it kind of started. And back then I wasn't seeking dreaming, I wasn't seeking any of that sort of things. I just wanted to succeed with my startup, and that wasn't working, and then it just happened. I mean, I was seeking to get healthy by that time already. I quit my medicine, which I was, prescribed because it was making me actually more sick. And I was already starting to learn how to meditate, but I was just in the very beginning of that journey. I only made the decision to take matter in my own hands, that I want to get healed. I want to cure myself, because I had nothing to lose. I've tried all the medications, all the doctors and everything, and it wasn't working. So I thought, look, I said it to myself. Actually, I wrote it in the diary. It's a very important detail. I wrote in the diary a question: how do I heal myself? And then it started. One thing led to another. I started to do some exercises. I describe everything in the book. I'm not going to go into details here, because here what I really want is to tell you how does dreaming work, and I've simplified this ancient method to suit a modern day human. So I'm going to be mostly talking about the dream planting, but I do want you to know a little bit about how I got into it. So to cut the long story short, I had the dream, or I had the near-death experience, which was kind of a dream. And then after that I went to Mexico, like many people do when they have experience like that. They're seeking, because I didn't even know what to look for. But at that time I got Carlos Castañeda's books, because the only one I told about this experience was actually to one of my friends who was working with me, a developer. I told him about this experience, and he said, look, you gotta read Castañeda's book, The Art of Dreaming. He said, you gotta read those books. And then I started to read those books, and I fell in love with the books, because the books were actually explaining to me things which I felt that I knew all my life. And I often heard from people telling me, oh, you're weird, you're not doing everything right, But in the books, I was kind of, reading things which were really understandable to me, which even some things which were described in the books, I was already doing them. Like things like erasing personal history, because I was moving around, was changing towns and, getting out of, toxic environments throughout my youth, which were holding me back from development. Everything is, the books Castaneda described, they were a system, an old Toltec system. And I really just felt, I really understand what they mean. And then I met someone, I got his book. It was Sergio Magaña. You can Google him. He's a famous author who writes about these Toltec things. And I started to read his books, and I went to all of his seminars and became friends with him. And later on we actually did a seminar together, because one particular technique, which the course is about, dream planting, is described in his book, The Toltec Secret. And of course, I recommend whoever's watching this course to read 2 of his books at least, if you want to really understand all the theory behind why this is working and how it's, where it really comes from and all the details around it. However, we're not going to go into all of those details in this course, because at the end of the day, what's really important is doing the practice. That's what it's about. And I'm going to present you with some simple modern facts in order for you to create a faith, a belief that this actually works. So my goal with all of this was to heal. As I mentioned, I was diagnosed with a disease which was incurable, and today I'm in full remission. I do not use any medication since 2017. Actually, I quit them in 2016 already. But from time to time, I had to take some in order to, to get rid of severe symptoms. It was mostly naproxen, which I used, anti-inflammatory. But I later on found out exactly the cause why I'm getting inflamed, and because of who, because it has something to do with the environment. So my main goal with the dream planting was to heal. And dream planting, and I'm a breathwork expert. I have my own method. I have a mobile app for that. All of those things help me. However, I think dream planting is one of the most important ones, because what it does, it helps you kind of set goals and make use of external forces to help you and get energy to move forward in life towards your goals. And the reason why I fell in love with it, and the reason why I think this is one of the most efficient, the most organic, and the best practices, which is ancient and esoteric, but suitable for the modern individual, is because it's based on natural facts. So if you will read Sergio's books, the way he describes the technique, it's a bit too complicated for, the modern human. It takes too long. And Sergio and I, we came to a much shorter and an efficient version. Again, this course is for those who find it difficult in getting lucid during the dreams, because dream planting allows you to plant your dreams before the night time. In order to do what, you might ask? Well, in order to plant the seed for the next day. Because there is a Toltec axiom, a Toltec rule, which I agree with 100%. And the rule is, first you dream it, and then you live it. And think about it. Before you come to this life, you are 9 months in your mother's womb. And then you wake up. You take the first breath. And then your life starts. You open your eyes. And the cycle starts. And after that, shortly, you go back to sleep. And I witnessed my daughter was born when she was born. And it's a fact. We all come to this world from within a dream. And once we finish here, well, we go back into the dream. So all it means that this life starts from the dream. It means the dream was first, and then we live the dream. I like to work with facts, and this is one of the facts. That first we dream it, and then we live it. That's why dream planting. We plant the dream during the awake hours, and we make use of the animal archetypes, which I'm going to get into a little bit later. So it's like goal setting, but utilizing the power of dreaming. Because when you're in the dream, you are very close, or you are your subconsciousness, your subconscious mind, or your subconsciousness. I don't think there's any mind. I think the subconsciousness is something totally different. However, that's probably a topic for another course. So now, let's get into how dream planting works.